Hi, welcome to another edition of Larry's First Impression Beer Reviews. Today I'm going to sample a product from New Holland Brewing Company, one of their sours series. It's their sour stout brewed with cherries. So this should be pretty interesting. Um, I'm not usually one that will pick up a stout, but I do like stouts and I do like cherries. So the combination of those two leads me to believe that it's going to be um, rich and dark and cherry puckering sour. Okay, so my first question was, okay, well, why would we want to make a stout a sour? And I think the obvious reason for me, just this is just me, is that sour cherries really lend to a sour beer. So okay, well, what makes a sour beer? It really has to do with bacteria. In addition to the yeast, the bacteria will give it a little bit of a sour. They'll probably inoculate the batches with a specific kind of bacteria that lends itself to flavoring the beers and souring them. So the smell is like stout, and you get a definitely boozy kind of aroma from it out of the bottle. The label is really sort of kind of boring. It just says sour ink, sour stout with cherries, and it's got the little cherry emblem down there. So on the back, it says 6.7% volume, proudly brewed in Holland, Michigan. And there's really not a whole lot of information on there except for ABVs. So let's get it into a glass, see what it looks like, see what kind of head we can get on it, and we'll finally get a taste and see if what I'm hoping for is that the souring really accentuates the cherries. Oh, yeah, nice dark beer like you would expect for a stout. I'm using a pint glass today just because it's New Holland and I have this New Holland pint glass, so why not? Normally a stout what I would put into a sifter, but not today. I have this pint glass and we're just going to use it because of New Holland. Looks really nice and rich and dark. There is some bubbling coming up from the side of the glass. It's got a nice little head that dissipated very quickly. I get more of a boozy cherry flavor, or excuse me, aroma when I give it my first sniff. All right, well, that actually looks pretty good. The head is already gone. I was expecting a little more porter, but the sour really comes through in this guy. And it's not off-putting, especially if you know that and expect it to be sour. I gotta say, my first sip, I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting to have chocolate and then some cherry, but soured out to accentuate it. And I did not get the chocolaties from the porter. This really lends itself to yeah. If you search hard enough, you can get a tart cherry. Sour? I don't think it really would say that that's sour. It's not. Oh boy, that's puckering. I would say that it's got a tartness that really complements the cherry in it, and the roasty malts are kind of maybe almost non-existent. So, for me, the flavors are really a nice tartness with cherry. If you search about it long enough, if you would have gave me this and said, "Hey, tell me what flavor this is," I'm not so sure. I would have guessed cherry, but since it says cherry on the label, it's already in my head, and go back in for one more sip. Your third sip is much more enjoyable than the first one. You kind of get to know what's going to happen. It has a rolling Cassandra of sourness that never really is off-putting. And then for me, the third sip is kind of lesser of a shock, obviously, than your first one because you know what you expect. But I think that the sourness with this one works pretty good. Who would I recommend this to? If you're a cherry fan, if you like tartness, if you want to have the roasted malty flavor to go along with it, maybe not so much. But hey, I enjoyed it. It was worth a try, and thanks for watching. So here's to New Holland, and here's to the last of their 4 sour series, and cheers.